Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from group 2. We are going to explain about the characteristic of cognitive, socio-emotional, and moral. The first material will be explained by me. The characteristic of cognitive. According to Piaget, there are 4 stages of cognitive development. First, the sensorimotor stage, usually from 0 until 2 years. Infants construct understanding of the world and gain knowledge through their sense and motor movement. Children utilize skills and abilities they were born with, such as looking, sucking, grasping, and listening, to learn more about the environment. Second, the pre-operational stage, from 2 until 7 years. In this stage, children begin to represent the world with words, image, and drawing. For example, like a child is able to use an object to represent something else, such as pretending a broom is a horse. And also, children often play the roles of mommy, daddy, and doctors, and many other characters. In this stage, children are unable to take on another person's perspective or egocentrism, because lack the understanding that objects can change in appearance while still maintaining the same properties. Third, the concrete operational stage, from 7 until 11 years. Kids at this stage become more logical about concrete and specific things, but they still struggle with abstract ideas. For example, a child might be able to recognize that his or her dog is a Labrador, that a Labrador is a dog, and they still hard to understand about that a dog is an animal. That's all for me, thank you.
Okay, I will explain the formal operational stage. As the first stage in the cognitive development, it's between 11 till 15 years old. In this stage, kids can think about abstract and theoretical concepts and use logical to come up with creative solutions to problems. For example, children may think about why something is happening. And now we move on to socio-emotional material. First, socio-emotional processes. It involves changes in the individual's relationship with other people, changes in emotion, and changes in personality. One of the most widely recognized characteristics of this period is the acquisition of feelings of self-competence. Children most likely employ more social comparison, distinguishing themselves from others. In dealing with other children, they show increase in perspective taking. Perspective taking enables the child to judge others' intention, purposes, and actions, give importance to social attitudes and behavior, and to increase skepticism of other claims.
Okay, I am Marshall Fadira. Will explain the next material, right, about socio-emotional characteristics. So, as we know that socio-emotional development, it refers to developing capacity of the child from birth through 5 years of age to form close and secure adult and peer relationships, such as experience, regulate, and express emotions in socially and culturally appropriate ways, and explore the environment and learn, all in the context of family, community, and culture. It necessarily includes temperament, attachment, and social skills. Okay, next I will explain about socio-emotional development by Erik Erikson. It is called first 4 stages in childhood. First is trust versus mistrust. The development period infancy about birth to 1/2 years. The characteristic of trust versus mistrust is a sense of trust requires a feeling of physical comfort and minimal amount of fear about the future. In Vance, basic needs are met by responsive and sensitive caregivers. The second is about autonomy versus shame and doubt. The development period is called toddlerhood. It is about 1/2 to 3 years, and the characteristic of autonomy versus shame and doubt is after gaining trust in their caregivers, infants start to discover that they have a will of their own. They assert their sense of autonomy or independence. They realize their will. If infants are restrained too much or punished too harshly, they are likely to develop a sense of shame and doubt. Stage is initiative versus guilt. The development period is called early childhood, about preschool years, ages 3 until 5 years old. The characteristic of initiative versus guilt is as preschool children encounter a widening social world, they are challenged more and need to develop more purposeful behavior to cope with these challenges. Children are now asked to assume more responsibility, and then uncomfortable guilt feelings may arise. So, if the children are irresponsible and are made to feel too anxious. And the last stage is industry versus inferiority. The development period, it's called middle and late childhood. It is about elementary school years, 6 years until puberty. The characteristic of this stage is at no other time are children more enthusiastic than at the end of early childhood periods of expansive imagination. As children move into the elementary school years, they develop their energy, mastering knowledge and intellectual skills. The danger at this stage involves feeling incompetent and unproductive. Okay, next is the characteristics that may be cause for concern is first about under the age of 2. The first is limited eye contact, and the second, very views gestures such as waving and pointing. The third, lack of response to name. The fourth is repetitive movement with objects or body, and the last is lack of showing and sharing. Okay, and next about 2 years and older. The first is oppositional and deviant behavior. The second is inattention. The third, hyperactivity. The fourth, physical aggression toward peers. The fifth, anxiety. The sixth, emotional dependence or separation distress. Seventh, timidity or shyness. The ache, sadness or depression, and ninth, lack of empathy for others. So that's all from me. Thank you. The next material will be explained by my partners.
Okay, I will continue explain about moral development. Moral development is the gradual development of an individual concept of right or wrong, conscious, religious values, social attitude, and certain behavior. According Kohlberg's theory, moral development is this theory is a stage theory. In other words, everyone goes through the stage sequentially without skipping any stage. And however, movement through these stages are not natural. That is, people do not automatically move from one stage to the next as they mature. And then, according to stage theory, people cannot understand moral reasoning more than one stage ahead of their own. For example, a person in stage 1 can understand stage 2 reasoning but nothing beyond that. And Kohlbergs have 6 stages. Level 1, pre-conventional morality, 0 until 9 years. Stage 1, obedience and punishment. Level 2, conventional morality, 10 until 19 years. Stage 2, naively egotistical, and Stage 3, good boy and good girl orientation. Stage 4, law and social order, and next level 3, post-conventional morality, more 16 years. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, Henry Dharma will be explain the next material. The next material is about moral. Okay, let's see. How to educate students on moral value. First, be a role model for the students. Students learn from others, and they learn in the ways how you treat others. Whatever you do in front of the class, they learn the same things from us. They observe how to handle different situations and what you do in order to handle them. If you want to teach the qualities of self-respect, honesty, and compassion to our children, then you must have these qualities in yourself. Moreover, what you teach them should match your own actions and activities. For example, if you ask them to be honest and you tell a lie in front of them, they will not be able to learn honesty. Okay, next, create a caring environment. The development of character begins with a caring relationships. The relationship of a child with parent at home and with teacher at school has a significant effect on what moral value he or she will learn. Any children who receive good care from parents and teachers will likely care for others and become a good citizen. Creating an environment of love and care will help the students to learn about caring for others. A caring environment will help in the development of social bonding among students. This will also help the students feel safe in school. Next is share personal experience. We all have some past experience which taught us valuable lesson in life. Teachers should share their personal experience with their children so that children could also learn from them. We should share this experience with children in which you made decisions consistent with good moral value. Sharing personal experience will help our children to learn the moral value associated with this experience. Also, tell the stories where you made some bad decision and which made you learn some lesson. Next is teach them to be accountable for mistake. Students make mistakes in various stages of their life. When students tell lies and often don't accept their mistake, teach your students and children to accept their mistake and feel sorry. Next, encourage them to help others. Getting engaged in these activities of helping others will develop the qualities of kindness and compassion in students. Teachers should award their students to perform the activities like creating get-well card for the sick people and helping the disabled. Next, use everyday experience for teaching. Every day some situations appear which offer us an opportunity to teach our children some value. Teachers can use such situations to teach the children about what is right and what is wrong. Knowing what is right will encourage them to do the right things and develop a positive attitude. Okay, moral values are important for shaping the future of children. Students who learn good moral value at a young age are more likely to become a good parents and good citizens. So it is the responsibility of parents and teachers to teach our children good moral value so that they can learn and pass on the same value to the next generations. Teaching moral value in home, school, and student care center will create honest, patriotic, faithful, and loving human beings. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you so much.